So we're still on the education sector. How are you coping? How are your children coping at home? And what measures are you putting in place to make it more effective whilst you're staying at home and learning at the same time? Because really the recommendation is for you to stay at home. The number is on your screen right now. We want you to text us, WhatsApp us, I should say, and tell us what measures you're putting in place. Well, what suggestions do you have for other people? What can other people learn from your example as they try to stay at home and learn at the same time? You do know that Joy Learning has a great opportunity for you to learn there as well. Well, let's get back to Professor Adei, because he's warning against a lockdown, especially in farming areas, because he believes that a lockdown there could affect food shortage or crisis post the COVID-19 pandemic.
We must be very careful not locking down the whole country, because this April and May are critical planting seasons in the rural areas. And now people must plant, or else next year, we all die, not of COVID, but of hunger. So please, our farmers, go ahead, plant, and do Ghana a favor by doing 50% more farms, so that we will be able to become, at least food-wise, self-sufficient.
What about the danger to us in terms of the spread of the virus, if these people are still going out and carrying out business as usual?
Well, I think that in the cities we must be very careful, but I think that in the rural areas where the farming is taking place, the danger is not that much, because they don't congregate as we do in Accra. And I think that we must, at the next round, probably look at another way of lockdown, because when you go to Bukom and some areas, they still move about. But rather, we should make sure that within their area, they don't go out, in and out. If there's no infection there, we send food to them, shops there. So we have to look at it. It's a very, very serious one. And if we get a community spread in the high-density areas, then God help us.
Well, some of you have already been sending us some messages, some of you complaining that your children are unable to learn at home. I will read some of those messages, but your messages are still welcome. What are you doing at home in terms of education? How are your children coping? That's the question. Do send us your messages, your thoughts, and let's share it here on the show. Just one says, good afternoon, Gifty. Some of our children cannot learn because they can't get access to computer. So how are they learning? How can they learn from online? Well, we understand that the Education Ministry is making some provisions for people so that you don't need to spend so much data on the online services. Do check with your area or check with the teachers in your school and let them give you advice as to what to do. We understand it's supposed to be a free online platform for the Ghana Education Service. The Communications Minister did say something like that today. We'll bring you a wrap, by the way, so we make it clearer. And thanks for sending in that message. More of those messages coming here. And this one says, I've heard that there's going to be a lockdown of the whole country on Saturday. We don't know that. We don't have any information on that yet. And when we have that information, we'll share with you so you know. This one says, government should help reduce the cost of data for us to access e-learning platforms. This is coming from Emmanuel from Osenase in the Eastern region. Emmanuel, thank you for sending your message. We'll bring you a wrap from the press conference held earlier today by all the sector ministers, all the relevant ministries, and you'll hear what they're saying, and I'm sure that you certainly have your question answered from there. This one says, all I do is tell my sister to read more. I believe reading is the key. So essentially you're saying that anything you read should work. You should perhaps be a bit more selective in what you read. It's not every material that helps in your mental development, so you may want to be very selective with what you read. This message is coming from Kweku Enim. Kweku, you don't add where you're texting from, but he says, I suggest parents should go through with their kids what they have learned previously. This will equip them with when schools resume. Now, these are comments that you're bringing on the back of the concerns being raised by Professor Adei as to the effect of lockdown on education. So some good suggestions there. People should go through what their children children have already learned. But you should also stick to JoyNews, because we have a learning platform, a teaching platform, I should say, especially for senior high school and junior high school students, where you have a great deal of resources there as well. This one says, we're doing WhatsApp learning, but it's not been effective. Our students need computers and internet in their homes to make e-learning possible. It's coming from Hohoi, from Charles Zegla. I hope I got your name right. I'll read more of these messages on education.